In today's video, we're going to be learning how to make this kid bubble gown that has an halter neck. If this is something you like to watch, just stay to the end. Yeah, welcome to Sewwithtia channel. Thank you for your love in my previous videos. Now, today we're going to be making use of this material. I have some chantilly net, I have some satin, and of course, you're going to be needing a zipper. And one other material I forgot to add is a tissue stay or ST. So these are the measurements I'll be using to get the bubble effect perfectly. We're going to be cutting a full circle. And to get a full circle, one thing I did was to divide my waist round. I multiply my waist round, not my waist round, the waist round I'm working with. I multiply it by 2 inches so that I can have a full effect. And afterward, I made use of the formula that has been displayed earlier to get that. Okay, so now I'm going to be folding. I folded into four based on the measurement I got, and I'm just going to go ahead right now to mark from one end rather, to the other end. So once I get to that part, I'm just going to go ahead to trim it out, as you can see me do. Now, one of the things you are going to notice is in the formula, I said we're going to be using double measurement, right? Now, this is important to have that fullness, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead to impute my waist radius that I got from my formula. I'm going to go ahead to impute that on the folded end from that edge to the other end so that I'm going to have my perfect waist radius. Now, do remember that this waist has been multiplied by 2. It simply means we are going to be creating gathers, or we are going to be making pleats to make it go back to the original size of 20 inches, which is what I'm working with for this particular outfit. So after doing that, very important step, please notch all your four corners. We are going to be needing them. So I'm going to notch the open end, the four sides. I'm going to notch the mid part, that's like the center skirt. And you can see on the lower part too, I make sure my pieces are aligned. I also went ahead to notch that part. Very important. So after notching that part now, I can now go ahead to open it up like so at one end. Now, if you cut and half circle, one thing you need to understand is your bubble skirt won't end up being as full as mine. Okay, so what we're going to do now, want to match. Okay, on the right side, we're going to be folding right side to right side so that the wrong side will be inside. We're going to be matching these notch sides together. You want to go ahead with your pins over here and pin them together. Now on the close end at the side, this is how we're going to also match it together. But in order to have a neat finish, we're going to open this up like so, then go ahead to sew it on the wrong side, then turn it out in. I'm going to be doing that off camera and show you the final effect. So you can see that we have the two layers, the upper part and the lower part. And you're going to notice there's a side that has more flare than the other. It's fine, because all we're going to be doing is to ensure we gather both together to give us the perfect waist round measurement. So this matching is just going to be as a guide that is going to help you gather effectively when you are sewing. So we're going to do the same for the other end, just like what I explained at the side. So right now you're going to go ahead to make pleats or gathers and ensure that at the end of the day you have your waist round circumference using the notch part as a guide. So you can see that once I was done with that, I just went ahead to measure what I have, and I have almost 60 inches. That is on the side that has more flare. I remember, like I said, I'm working with a waist round of 20 inches. So you see, I have to gather this to give me back my waist circumference. So I'm just going to go ahead right now to do this off camera. Please, you want to take your time while doing this. Another thing is, it depends on the type of material you're using. If you're using a very structured material, you could end up having something bulky at that edge. So we're going to be coming to the upper part, which is going to be for the bodies. So I'm going to go ahead to indicate my start line, which is what you see me do. So because of probably beginners, I'm going to go ahead to draft my normal basic front pattern, so that from there I can bring in the alter effect so that we can all be on the same page. So I went ahead to indicate my neck depth for the front. Since this is a kid, I'm working with 2 inches. 2 inches. I really don't want this to be deep because I'm going to be adding more like a collar at the upper end. So the back I'm working with in this case was 8 inches, and I'm going to be dividing that by 2 as my shoulder measurement. So from that point now, I'm going to impute my armhole measurement, which in this case I'm working with 5 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead to connect both lines together as you can see me do. Now on the armhole line, I'm going to be coming down by 0.5 inches, and I'm going to connect this into my neck width to form my shoulder slope. Now on this armhole line, I'm going to go ahead to impute my chest measurement for this kid, and I'm working with 21 inches. So you're going to be dividing that by 4 and you impute your measurements. Same as the waist round, I'm going to be dividing by 4, and I'm just going to go ahead to mark this. Now, one thing you should note when you are sewing for a kid is you don't want to have a tight dress for them. They are kids, so they move around a bit. They move around more. So you want something that is a bit free, not unfitted, but then it shouldn't be tight. So I came back to my armhole measurements to find my midpoint, and from that point, I'm just going to connect that midpoint to the armhole line to form my armhole curve. And after that, I went ahead to add my sewing allowance, and I'm just going to connect both together. Now for the half length, this totally depends on your measurement. For this, I made use of about I what I need really is about 7.5 inches. So that was when I realized that I did not even indicate that point initially. So that is what you can see I'm doing over here. So I've gone ahead to mark out the point I need. I need 7.5 inches. So I'm just going to add an extra 1 inch to it, to which is going to be for my joining allowance to the lower part. So you can see that I went ahead to remeasure, I went ahead to remark on that new line my waist round measurements and my sewing allowance. So this is what the front part should look like, okay? This is what a basic body should look like. I'm just going to cut this out so that we can now alter this and have our halter neck effect. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do right now is to impute my back depth measurement. That is my back neck depth. And I'm just going to be working with 1 inches. Remember, I said that I'm working with a collar for this particular outfit. So I'm just going to go ahead to mark. Now from this point, I'm going to be creating the alter effect. So depending on how deep you want it to be, you can see mine is stopping exactly at where my neck depth is. So it means I'm taking away about 2 inches or 1.5 inches rather for my shoulder measurement after dividing by 2. So I'm just going to go ahead to connect like so, depending on how deep you want it to be. You can turn out your curve. And I'm going to be leaving about 0.25 inches, which is going to be for my joining allowance. So this is what the front looks like, right? So I'm going to go ahead right now to place this to cut out my back piece. So the difference between this for my back is just the presence of a zipper allowance. Remember that the neckline I have here, the neck depth I have here presently is for my back. So I'm just going to go ahead to add about 1.5 inches. You can do 2 inches in your case. This is going to be strictly for my zip measurement. So I'm going to go ahead to cut this like so. And I'm going to trim out every part I don't need again. Also, I'm going to go ahead to notch the zipper parts so that this is going to guide me. And I'm just going to go ahead to open it up like so. We're going to be cutting exact piece for the back in terms of lining with the same material, and this is what the front looks like, and that's what the back look like. So I'm going to be placing my lace on this, my chantilly lace. I'll be doing this off camera, okay, like so, and I'm going to go ahead to cover this with lining like so, leaving the neckline open. So I've gone ahead to gather my boo effect. I had to do this off camera, okay, to save time. So you can see the end. It has been sewn from the inside, and you can see how full the bubble effect is. And this is because we cut on in form of a circle, a full circle rather, and we made use of times two of the waist round. So if you want it to be much more fuller, you can do times three or times four of the waist round. Just know you are going to be making use of more fabric. So I've gone ahead to turn my back with a lining. You can see the armhole part, so I went ahead to top stitch on that part. And after doing that, I'm going to join at the side, leaving the zipper part pinned. So you want to take note of your zipper allowance. I'm just going to go ahead to pin both sides together. And after pinning both sides together, I'm going to go ahead to join this based on my sewing
So if you've
allowance
watched
that
this
I've
point,
added
please
to
don't
it
forget to hit
earlier.
the subscribe button if you are yet to be subscribed. Turn your notification bell so that when I post videos, you get to see them. And of course, drop a like button, press the like button and drop a comment at the end of this video. So after this, now I'm just going to go ahead to measure the neck like so. I measured the front independently and I also measured the back independently. Now this is going to just give us a rough guide to how we're going to cut out the neckline that we're going to use to join this piece together. So right now, at this point, I've gone ahead to join it by the side. So this is what it looks like, right? So I'm going to go ahead right now to bring in my skirt part, okay? And I'm going to go ahead to pin this. I'm going to notch the mid part, pin it to the mid part of the bodice, and I'm going to go ahead to sew this off camera. Now, if you have a lining, you can use that, place this on it in order to cover that rough part, okay? So now for the neck part, you can see I went back to my circle cutout that I have from the skirt part. And you can, if you don't have the circle cutout part, you can just decide to use, fold your clothes, fold it on bias, cut on bias rather, okay? Fold it in form of a triangle just to have that bias effect when you are cutting. So I've gone ahead to measure what I have on the neck part after measuring was about 14 inches. Dividing it by 2, I have 7 inches. So on this part, I just went ahead to curve out 7 inches, okay, on the first part. And after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to measure 2 inches, okay. Now I'm going to break down these 2 inches. These 2 inches, I'm going to be using about 0.5 inches to join the upper part and 0.5 inches to join the lower part. So I'm going to be left with 1 inch at the end of the day. So one of the things you'll notice for this bias part is the upper part is way smaller than the lower part. Talking about this collar, I've gone ahead to cut. Now this collar I'm fixing, I don't want it to, choke her because she's actually a kid and I'm not doing it in form of a turtleneck or a mandarin collar. It's far from that, okay? It's just a simple collar that I'm fixing to the neckline. So I'm going to go ahead to cut out two pieces and this is what it looks like. And I'm also going to, if you want, you can add your chantilly net on this, or please make sure your chantilly net too is also on bias. So because my material is not enough, I'm not going to be using that. So this is what I have. You're going to be placing this on your stay for stability, or you can decide to use a tissue stay like I did. So this is what I have after fixing, okay. um I'm going to go ahead, like you see, I've trimmed down the excess I have on that joining part. So you're going to be joining the collar both together at the upper part like I have done here. And after doing that, you are going to also fold in with your iron to help you fix better. Fold the 0.5 inches or is 0.25 inches, whatever you are using, fold it in. So it's going to serve as a guide for you to know where to join and for you to know how to fix. So that is what I've gone ahead to do. So I'm just going to fold it into two like you can see me do. And I'm going to go ahead to mark the midpoint. So one of the tips to sewing this collar perfectly is to always join at the midpoint. Don't start from one end, okay? You are likely going to make a mistake. So I'm going to go ahead to fold the midpoint of the bodice into two like this, fold it into two. I'm going to notch that point on the neckline. And after doing that, I'm going to decide the pattern to use for the front or the back of the collar. And I'm going to go ahead Now, to pin the folded parts, remember I already folded this with my iron. I'm going to go ahead to fit the meat, to pin the mid parts that are folded. I'm going to go ahead to pin it from the back. This is the front of the dress. I'm pinning from the back. So after doing it like so, I'm going to take one end first. So I'm going to continue to pin it, ensuring everything is aligning properly and it is really smooth. So you want to take your time with this particular part, because it can be a little bit tricky, and any mistake you make on this part might require you to go ahead and do it again. So you can see what the back look like. You can see how clean the back is looking. So after doing this, after when I get to the edge where the neck stop for the front, what I'm going to do now is to bring the back, okay? And I'm just going to align it very close to the front. You're going to see what I'm trying to explain shortly. I'm not going to place it on it. I'm just bringing it close to. You can see I'm not placing it on it, okay? But I'm going to bring it very, very close to it. So this is what it's going to look like. So in other words, this collar is like the binding force, is the one that is going to hold the alternate effects, is the one that is going to hold it in place for us. I hope you understand that part. Please, if it's a bit confusing, just go back, try to watch the video. Probably you can slow it down, and I believe you are going to understand it better. Now you can see I did not fold the end, and this is because of the way I cut this particular collar. What I love to do is to fold it when I'm done joining, because I notice at times I can have excess or I can have shortage. So I've gone ahead to do that, and after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead to turn it to the front, and after sewing that, I'm going to go ahead to sew it down. Then on the front part, that is right side facing right, the right side now, then I'm going to go ahead to fix my zipper, as you can see. So this is the finished look of the tutorial. I hope this tutorial has been helpful, and if it has, please do let me know in the comment section. And if you're enjoying watching this tutorial, this is not our regular tutorial, but I just have to share this. Thank you.